What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Josh's Review Corner. And on this episode, we're going to be reviewing Marty's most recent project, Flop Era. And yes, you heard me call it Flop Era. I'm combining Volume 1 and Volume 2 just like Volume 2 does. And we're just going to call the entire project Flop Era. And I think that's how Marty himself addresses it. So that's what we're going to call this review. Marty needs no introduction. He is a part of the very big Christian hip-hop group, Social Club Misfits. And recently, they just left the label of Capitol Music Group. And so if you've been following the lead up to this project, Marty is calling this his debut album. Now, you could say it's a debut album in the sense that it is actually his first legitimate album release, because Marty for President was not considered an album, I think, in his mind. I think he called it an EP. But I also think the more important context and the broader context here is it's his first album or first project outside of the record label system, and it's his first project independently being released. And if you listen to this project, you hear those themes and those talks about the record label a lot, and the fact that this is independent and how he isn't. He's not working for the man anymore. He's working for himself, his family, for God. But like I said, we'll talk about that more when we get into the review. So, as always, let's start with talking about the theme of this project. And really, when I was thinking about what the theme of this project is, I don't think it necessarily has one. At least not one in the sense that it goes across the entirety of the project. It more so has a bunch of ideas going on in the project. You have ideas of fatherhood. You have ideas of knowing your worth, and the fact that there's no record label that can give you your worth, and the fact that God is the only place you get your worth from. There's themes of just his family, and talking more into that. Not only his immediate family, but just or the family he currently has, but also his father and his grandma. And then you also have these themes of really just some typical Marty stuff, where he kind of gets he's pretty funny, he's pretty quirky. He brings in these ideas of just having fun and not really thinking too much about it, and just and how people typically like to act goofy, and people for fame, right? People like to sell themselves out for fame, and he's completely against that idea, and he kind of hits back at that idea constantly throughout the project. And so there's really not one concrete theme across the entirety of Flop Era, but there are a whole lot of ideas going on. But with that being said, let me tell you about my favorites on this project, because I do have quite a bit of favorites. And I want to start out with the song Christian Rapper. I love this song for a couple of different reasons. I love this song because it's immediately you're thinking, well, okay, well, of course he's a Christian rapper. But catch what he says on the hook. No, I'm not your favorite version of your... oh my gosh, I just messed it up. I'm so sorry. No, I'm not the Christian version of your favorite rapper. I am me. And so the whole theme is about how, don't compare me to... I'm not the Christian version of Chance the Rapper. I'm not the Christian version of... You go down the list, right? You name a rapper. No, I am Marty. I am my own unique artist and individual. And my music is to be taken as such. And it's such a great statement, and it's a great banger to start the album off with. Breno provides a really great verse here as a feature. I've always been a big fan of Breno's stuff. But this track, Breno really shines brightly. This production really just fits into it. It's just a banger. Nothing more, nothing less needs to be said. And quite frankly, that's really my big thing with this project, is that there's not really one central sound surrounding the entirety of this project. There's a whole host of sounds going on. But I feel like that's so in line with who Marty is. Marty is such a diverse individual in the sounds he picks. He really can do anything. He can sing, he can rap, he can write, you name it, he can do it. He can make a slow song. He can make a sad song. He can make a banger, just like this song, Christian Rapper. And so you'll notice across the project that that's the case. And speaking of bangers, You Getting Jumped Tonight is the very next song, and that's another favorite of mine. I love Fern's verse here. I'm starting to get the vibe. So when I used to listen to secular rap, there was a rapper by the name of Offset of the Migos, and he used to rap about Patek Philippe's a lot. The way I feel about Fern rapping about flows is the way that Offset rapped about Patek Philippe's. I know that's a weird thing to say, but I feel like every time I hear Fern rap, he raps about flows, and it's fire every single time. He's got such a good flow, such a good delivery. He comes in heavy onto that beat, and then I really love that switch up at the end, because when you get that switch up, like when the song is called You Getting Jumped Tonight, that switch up makes me feel like I'm about to get jumped. Like that's the jump, like, oh, you're getting jumped on that beat switch. Amazing. I think it's just a funny song. Amazing production here. Love the horns, just these wailing horns going on in the production. And so really good song there. Then I want to talk about the next song. That's one of my favorites, is the song Questions. Love this song, Questions. This takes me back to the 90s, a big time with the production mold here. Like those record scratches, that boom bap beat, and Marty just glides smoothly, like effortlessly and smoothly over this beat. I mean, man kills it on his performance here, and I'm just so I'm so captivated by his performance. It's so fun. Like when you have that beat like that and you have that much charisma coming into the beat, it just makes it. It's what makes the song. And you know, Marty's got plenty to go around in charisma, and he brings that personality and that energy to this song. So really like the song Questions. Another one of those songs that's one of my favorites is the song Golf Course Meetings. Love Gavin the Hot Rod. I've always been a big fan of Gavin the Hot Rod ever since I heard him on that song Holy with Young Drew, and I forget the other gentleman, but ever since I heard that song, I was a big fan of Gavin the Hot Rod. And anytime I hear him on a feature, it's always a treat, and it's no different here. Gavin the Hot Rod comes in with that heavy, deep voice on the feature, and you feel every bit of it with that beat. Love the horns here once again. Love the flexing. None of my meetings indoors. I'm out on the course. I'm screaming. I'm yelling out for. I love the writing here as well. Hook is great. Verses are great. Feature is great. Nothing more that you could ask for. Then we have the song In My Room. This is some, and I kind of said it earlier, but this gives me those vibes of like some classic Marty stuff, in the sense that this song demonstrates his abilities as an artist, where he's not just limited to just being able to rap, but he can sing and he can put a really dang good song together. This song is so catchy. Like I'm in my room. Yeah. Love this hook. Love McKenna John's performance and verse on the back end of this song. Super catchy. I think I was singing this one in my room while I was listening to it. So really love this song In My Room. Definitely a favorite. Another one of my favorites, Dinner with Redacted. Love this beat. Love these keys that are going on in the beat. And then I love when the beat switches and he starts going into this more slow-paced flow. And it was already kind of slow going into it, but it really breaks down and slows down and becomes more intentional in that second half. And I love that Coldplay line. That Coldplay line is awesome. So really enjoyed Dinner with Redacted. That's another one of my favorites. And then on the volume 1 side of things, my last favorite song I want to mention is that song Yell at Me. Speaking of the fact, like just like In My Room, Yell at Me is excellent. And I'm going to give a crazy reference here. That song gives me the Red Balloon Project by Skizzy Mars type vibes. Like really though. If you go back and listen to any of the songs off that project and go and listen to this song, it sounds so similar. And I mean that in the best possible way, because the writing here is clever. I love Spencer Kane's performances. I love when he goes into those high notes. I know that I know that. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm watching it. I know you're hungry. We can get a burger or two. Same old spot or something new. I can't do it that well. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not a singer. I apologize. But but Yell at Me is one of those songs for me. Absolutely love it. Marty delivers a great performance. Just a great way to finish the volume 1 part of the project. And that leads us into the volume 2 part of the Flop Era, which is just Flop Era album in general, with the song Big in Japan. Now this song is not necessarily one of those songs I think I would call a favorite, but it is a standout to me. Love that beat switch. That beat switch almost takes the mood and the setting. It almost has very Japanese type sounds. And the production with those background vocals, it's something tranquil. And Marty is just continuing to provide great performance over those boom bap drums. So Big in Japan is a song I would definitely check out. Maybe not one of my favorites, but definitely a standout on the project. Then you have the song Love Like You. I love this song. It's a big dance banger song. Love like you love me, love like you love me, love like you. And I just think that chorus is money. It's smooth as honey. Just great performance by him on the verses, on the chorus, that beat. So by the way, I hadn't mentioned it up until this point. Another thing that makes this album so much better to me is the fact that Marty almost exclusively produced the album himself. So dude, in addition to the fact he's a top tier rapper, he's a top tier singer, and a top tier songwriter, this man can produce like no other. And also, this is one of the few songs on the album that he brings in other producers. And one of the producers he brings in is George Rose. And funny enough, when I heard that dance beat, that is a very George Rose type thing to do. And I'm interested in knowing if that's what he did there, if George Rose was responsible for that part of the production, because I know that's something that fits into George Rose's production mold. But Love Like You, excellent song, excellent writing. Couldn't ask for much more. Another song I want to mention as a standout, not necessarily as a favorite, is the song Famous. I love the subject matter of Famous. And so if you're looking for a song with message and a song that is very, it's just a very important message, an important reminder for people. It's like, fame is not worth it, brother, if you lose your family. But there are people who are willing to do that. And it's just a very sad state. And so Famous is a song that's a standout, not a favorite. But if you dig songs with deep messages, go and see Famous. That leads me into my last favorite for the album, and that's the song White Elephant featuring Xavier Omar. I've always been a big fan of Xavier Omar. Going into the whole point of just like those songs like In My Room and Yell at Me, this song White Elephant is very much so in that vein and in that production mode and in that sonic soundscape. Those operate in the same realm. And White Elephant, I just love these bells. These bells in the production are so good. Can't ask for more from a song. Great writing as always. Hook is extremely catchy. We're gonna be doing the Dirty Bird. Then he goes into this rapping part. Love this song. And really, that's it for all of my favorites, guys, on this project. Now, as for my least favorite song on the project, if I had to pick one, I would pick the song Nope featuring Derek Minor. I think Derek Minor gives a great verse here in the feature, and I don't even think Marty's verse here is bad. I just think the beat-wise, when you compare it with the rest of the other songs on this project, it sticks out like a sore thumb to me as being a beat that pales in comparison. It's not as good as the other ones. And so if I had to pick a least favorite, I would say the song Nope. Now to answer the question, because some of you are wondering, is this album gospel-centered? And I don't really know if the album is gospel-centered in the sense that that's what it's trying to hit you over the head with, is explicitly the gospel message. I definitely think it's at the core of who Marty is, and in some of these songs you get that. Especially on a song like Love Like You, that is a song about how he we want to love like Christ loves. And so, like I said, there's elements there, but I feel like more so this is a project where Marty is just trying to showcase his artistry, but also I think Marty's giving us a little bit of a testimony and peek into his life since coming off the record label and what it's been like recently. So if anything, this album is testimonial with a slight emphasis on the gospel message. Now, for my final score on this album, I've been thinking about it, and if I had to give a score for this album, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Really, really like this project. I'm looking forward to what Marty has in the pipeline, and also just hearing Marty's production, it's got me excited for anything Marty produces. If you tell me Marty produced something, I'm going to listen to it immediately. I'm really impressed with this project, and I think Marty has something great to build upon with this one, and I can only imagine he's going to get better as time goes on. And so, guys, that's my thoughts on the project. You let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are on the project. What was your favorite song? Was your favorite song White Elephant? Or maybe your favorite song was Famous? Like I said, let me know in the comment section down below. Would love to hear your thoughts. As always, guys, love you guys, and I'll see you guys later. You have a great night. Peace.